Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Agile Economist, and today I have a simple question. What drives you? Prudence, fear, or greed? I got in a nice big gold order. Okay, that didn't come out the way I thought it would. That's where it comes from.
Here, pick it up, feel it, tell me what you think.
No other mint has this issue.
The triangle has replaced the British pound.
Like little trading cards.
That's a naughty word. We never rob. We just sort of borrow a bit from those who can afford it.
Well, I'm going to tell you that I've been motivated by all three at times, but I think at this point I can say pretty safely, prudence is my main motivation. But maybe a lot of you went on the same journey that I did, and you got to a point where you were really fearful of things like inflation, the monetary end of the world, the end of the dollar, a new world order, all kinds of chaos out there. The world is a scary place. And when you learn how money works and you start to really understand it, especially when you're new and you've got sort of this grasp where you know enough to be dangerous, but you don't really understand the system completely, fear can motivate you to buy gold and silver. It makes sense. It motivated me. That was many years ago. I know of people who started in the 80s because they were afraid, and look, things still haven't collapsed. And I'm not saying that doesn't mean they can't tomorrow, but maybe fear is not the greatest way or reason to be purchasing gold and silver. So next in line is greed. And again, if you're like me, you move out of that fear phase as you learn more, and you get to a point where you go, look, the dollar's going to collapse, and I could get rich by owning sound money. And you'll hear a lot of YouTube channels out there say that you'll never get rich, not from gold and silver. It's just not in the cards. That's not how it works. And the truth is, maybe you can't. I think there's a possibility. I think it's a small percent chance, sort of the same as saying the world could end tomorrow. There are many ways you could get rich from gold and silver, but it's been my experience that no single asset will make you rich. Getting rich either comes, from my experience, two ways. You're born into it, or your brain and skills get you there. I don't think gold and silver are the way. Although you never know. You could get lucky. I bought Bitcoin at 5 cents and then lost it. So that tells you how that's going to go for me. But the final one is prudence. It's prudent, I think, to own gold and silver. I really believe that. I'm not saying that because I have a YouTube channel. I'm not saying that because I think it looks good from a clickbait standpoint. I just think it's prudent. I think every single person on this planet should have at least some physical gold and silver. If you were to say, what's that minimum amount? Well, I would say 2 tubes of your favorite sovereign silver and at least 1 ounce of gold. From there, it really just depends on your situation. And I'm just going to explain how I accumulated close to 1,000 ounces of silver at this point. It was 1 ounce at a time. And it was not literally, I bought tubes, of course, but it was not done by taking massive leaps and bounds and maxing out a credit card or taking my full paycheck and buying gold and silver. It was just whenever I had a little bit of spare money and I didn't quite know what to do with it. Maybe my IRA was already maxed out for the year, or maybe I had a windfall of some sort and I was just going to blow all that money on a new boat. But instead, I decided to chip a little bit away on, say, 10 ounces of silver, a 1/4 ounce of gold here, 1 ounce of gold there. I set up initially to just buy 1 ounce of gold per year. And after a few years, well, it doesn't take long, you start to have a stack that looks like this. Now, this is not my full gold stack, if anybody is wondering, but it's a good chunk of it. I'm not crazy rich. But I have gotten to the point where I really don't want to buy any more gold or silver, other than if it's just money I was going to waste. If it's something where I can just go ahead and make a small purchase and feel good about it and not feel like I'm wasting my money on another thing that I don't need from Amazon, then I'm good with that. And maybe it'll come in handy in an emergency. Maybe it will make me rich. Maybe I'll be the last one standing when the world ends. But either way, I feel like the purchases that I've made are prudent, and the amount and the weighting of gold and silver that I have fall into that category as well. I don't buy because of fear. I don't buy because of greed. I just think it's a good idea not to have all of your eggs in one basket. And when I'm talking about a basket, I'm talking about cash. So that's it, guys. Just want to say, try to be prudent. Does that make sense? Do you guys follow what I'm saying? I do like to do a coin review in every channel. And I had previously done the maple versus the eagle. And I had said that it was a close second and that the maple just didn't quite eke it out over the eagle. I preferred the form factor of the maple, but I like the sound, I like the look, the design, pretty much everything else, the robustness of the coin itself, pretty much everything else better. But you know what? This eagle has been sitting out here for quite some time now. And so since I have so many maples sitting on the desk, I feel like I had to leave one up at one point to be viewed by the channel. So we're gonna have a maple sitting out for the next little while. The eagle's gonna go away and we're gonna start circulating through some gold coins because unfortunately, I started with my favorite coin and that means it was just gonna sit there forever. So we're gonna put this one away and maybe come back after we've circulated through a few more. Speaking of maples, one more time, in case you missed my first review, there is nothing better. I don't think there's any coin that I like to take, say 4 or 5 of, and put in my hand and hold like this. It is just the most dense chunk of metal. There's no describing this. Like, you gotta hold this. This is seriously heavy. That's some weight. You know what I'm saying? And is it not crazy, just as a side note, that 4 of these is now $10,000? You cannot take 4 of these in without having to fill out paperwork. Who saw that coming? You know what I'm saying? Absolutely wild. Ladies and gentlemen, I just gotta say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the support in the comments and the thumbs up and the subscriptions. If you want to share this with someone else, I would seriously appreciate that as well. If you want to leave me a comment, you have nothing to say, today's code word will be maple. So thank you so much for watching. This has been The Anecdotal Economist. That's my 2 ounces worth. Remember, I'm pulling for you, and we're all in this together.
Kilogram, you're the dragon, you're the rabbit.
Okay, let's look at the money side now. Watch as I pull this bad boy out of here. Absolutely stunning once you get it out of the case. Feeling the weight of this in my hand. Oh, that's such a good feeling.
I never had enough gold.